Hey, what's going on? This is Pernell, your AstroTherapist, okay? Walking you through suffering, helping you to improve how you respond to suffering. And in order to do that, today we're going to talk to the Aries. I'm going to let you know that this is definitely more of a motivational video for my Aries Risings, okay? For my Aries Suns, all right? For my Aries Moons. These are for you specifically. It's time to stop. It's time to stop letting them play you. And it's time to clap back. All right, I'm saying this as an Aries Sun myself, an Aries Moon myself, and an Aries Mercury, okay? That Aries stellium within me is there. That's also for my Aries Venuses, okay? The Heartbreak Warriors, we out here. Listen, it's time to let people just pass you by, all right? People have been playing with you for long enough, and that was and has been far too long, all right? So my message for you today is, don't forget who you are. It's time to clap back. All right. In astrology, Aries, you are the first house of identity, which means that you go out into the world first before everybody to discover who you are. And this is why people will always, until the end of days, until the day you die, you will never not meet a person that won't hate on you. You will never not meet a person who will not hate on you. That don't mean that you have just as many people and more that are loving you, because everybody loves you, Aries. But everybody will say something verbally completely the fuck different. And it's time to start clapping back on these jokers. And I'm saying this from a personal standpoint of just being fed up, but I'm also saying this from a personal standpoint of being objective to give you this truth. Because this is the reality, all right? You are the god of war. And for my ladies out there, you are the goddess of war. Let's not ever forget throughout history what Aries actually is. You are a warrior. It is exactly why you get so many tests. It is exactly why so many people want to gaslight and try to play you. You are the first zodiac sign in, which makes you the infant in the zodiac, all right? In modern astrology. See, they don't want you to know the full power, because the full power of the God of War means that everybody else loses and you win. So it's better to gaslight you to let it be known that you will do anything to win, and let that be something that reverses your motivation to say, oh, well, maybe I was too rough, or maybe I was too bold, or maybe I was too direct, or maybe all these things that were not originally a part of your thought process. All right? And because you have, as the first zodiac sign in, the mind, the naivety of an infant, somebody where an infant is very forgiving, okay? Infants don't sit there and hold grudges. They can recognize energy when it's bad, and infants really don't fuck with people that have bad energy, right? You ever noticed that? But because our instinct was so raw, and it is so triggering for the insecurities of others that come across your path, who you were cheering on, who you were building up, who you were lighting a flame under to get them started, for them to be one step more impulsive outside of that grounded, stuck nature, or maybe potentially that watery, emotional funk, or maybe potentially that thinker who didn't take enough action. You, as a fire sign, along with your brothers, and I say brothers because Leo and Sagittarius and Aries are masculine energy. Let's not forget, sometimes Leo could be a little dramatic and they want to think it's a female. Sometimes Aries is really super duper emotional, and I'm not going to sit there and stunt. We are sensitive, okay? Aries is a sensitive sign. Just like an infant. An infant is sensitive to all the energies. But people will try to play you. But what's important is we need to also take a step back and realize that this sensitivity does exist. The best way I learned to look at an Aries is as you're a sensitive gangster. I'm a sensitive gangster. I had to recognize that the moments that I sat there and cut people's throat out, it was because my feelings were hurt. And I did have to check in and realize, like, all right, like, Pernell, you can't just bop everybody in the head that deserves it. And they deserved it. You can't just rip everybody throat out that deserves it. And they deserved it. But we also have to recognize that we are in a different society, right? We got to tweak how we play with the God of War energy, because we can't always go to war. We can't always fight when our insecurities, as Aries Risings, as Aries Suns, Aries Moons, Aries and Venus, as our insecurities rise to the surface, we have to watch out of where we want to be combative and we want to fight back, when in reality, it's not because we want that fight other than the reason that our feelings were hurt. So an important step is to realize that that softness and that balance between toughness has to be cultivated. And I'm going to talk to you about how. That softness and that toughness has to be cultivated. And I'm going to talk to you about how. Okay? You have to remember, as a fire sign, especially the first one in, you're going to make mistakes. Babies make mistakes, okay? Babies touch the hot stove. Infants will walk off the ledge if you let them, all right? And you would have seen this in your real life scenarios, okay? You made mistakes. And in those mistakes, we have to be, and I have to be very understanding of where this combative energy comes from and how do I misdirect that energy. This is very important for the Aries out here. This is, again, like I said, I'm taking this more from a motivational standpoint, but I'm also going to be sitting here. I'm also educating. I'm talking real shit. Okay. So you definitely got to hit that subscribe button. And I'm going to wrap this message up. What we need to understand is the balance between softness, okay, tact, diplomacy, which is your opposite brother of Aries, a Libra, who understands how to balance and use objectivity in their game plan about how they approach the next war, the next battle. And that battle, that war could be the war within yourself, which is generally the one you're facing, right? The war to be yourself, all right? Because the whole world doesn't want you to be yourself, because that intimidates them. That shows and reflects back to them how unwilling they are to be themselves, how unwilling they are to sit there and make a mistake the way we naturally are able to do, to be ourselves. Now, this is the problem. What happens in those scenarios is where the gaslight comes out and people want to play you, is because so many others are not willing to make the mistakes in order to be themselves. The cost of admission, okay? That's the cost of admission of really stepping into your identity. Aries is the first house, the head, the identity, walking into the world. Head first, okay? Willing to fail. There was a point where we just got out of a 10-year hell last December 2020, all right? December 2020, you got out of a hell. In 2021, this full moon in Aries has you come into full completion of what that hell cycle was like. And you recognize how many snakes in your garden you had. You recognize how many people utilizing that fiery burst of energy as their personal generators. Enough. Listen to me. Enough. Enough. It's time to put a real stop plug on that. And here's how I need you to do that. You see this? It's a personal choice. It's a personal choice to come out into the middle of nothing, to recharge. Because I've allowed people to drain me for so long, so much, that I needed to go in deep hibernation. Deep hibernation. People asking, how long are you gonna be here? I don't know. Stop asking me. Stop asking me. They don't really want to know. They don't really care. They just want to know when can they get a... What? You heard me? They just want to know when can they get a little lick of that grade A limitless Energizer Bunny generator. Personal. For their needs. To be their cheerleader. All fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, you're all cheerleaders. Okay? But the biggest problem is we're so much of a visionary. Aries are visionaries. All fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, you're all visionaries, okay? You all set the trends. You are the ones who blaze the path forward, okay? Everybody else don't have that fire startup power like you do. Other cardinal signs, sure, in their different ways, but not with that same electricity. Let's be real, all right? It's my Aries Moons, my Aries Risings, my Aries Suns, my Aries Venus, all right? Aries Mercury out there, you in that, because you're the voice. You're the voice. We gotta learn how to cheerlead for ourselves. This has become the most critical part, the most critical element in my personal life. And what that has begun to look like and what has begun to change, I know you feel that shift in your body. I know you feel it. I swear to God, I know you feel it. Right now, we're in a Taurus moon. The moon, when the moon goes into Taurus, now we take that identity, we shift it, and we put it into our body. We integrate that feeling. So now we know what it feels like to be the boss. Aries, in the tarot, you are the emperor. You are the emperor. Boss darn diggity. Stop letting people play you. And don't forget that you're the boss. And don't forget that you're not your mistakes. All right? You are not your mistakes. You are not your mistakes. You are exactly what everybody wishes that they could do, which is the ability to make a mistake, realize that it was just a lesson, and there's no such thing as mistakes. And that was a part of the gaslight programming to play you, psychological warfare. They thought that infants stay infants forever. Fuck out of here. Infants grow up. And right now you've grown up to be big and strong, to be the leader that everyone needs in the world. Don't let them play you. You're a leader. You're a leader. You're the leader. Now, if you took it back to ancient astrology for a second, Leo is the first zodiac sign. So think of the drama, the way Leo can just be like, and just like kind of step out of pocket. It may take them a long time to get there, but when they do, it makes they never want to come back down, which would make Sagittarius the second fire sign, which is right now in our astrology, modern astrology, the oldest fire sign, okay? Which is also, in its own ways, you seem a little real immature, right? Sagittarius be seeming like they just don't give a fuck. They just do whatever they want and they don't care. They really, really don't care. They really would challenge you to be like, say something, and they'll laugh in your face, which would make what the last and final? Aries, which would mean what? That the last four zodiacs would have been Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, which is right now the first four zodiacs. And the last four zodiacs are the gods in astrology, okay? Sagittarius being that entry point into heaven, into spirituality, if you will. Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, those being the gods. Pisces being like, just not even a human. It's not a human anymore. Even though Aquarius is an alien, you feel me? Which would then make, if we switched it to the what existed first, Aries, you're already a god. And it was in the name. It's in modern astrology as well, right? God of War. The thing is, we have to go to war with ourselves. We got to stop going to war with other people. We got to stop trying to prove X, Y, and Z, which is really just us trying to mask and cover up our insecurities of the fact that, you know what? Somebody has hurt us. As much as we don't want to show it, we got hurt. I got hurt. As much as I don't want to sit there and have that be broadcasted and sit there and accept or take pity from anybody, because we don't want that shit. The most empowering thing that we can do is cheerlead for ourselves now. To accept that, you know what, that shit hurt. I really loved you. I really liked you. You was really my best friend. You was really my partner. You was really doing this business with me, and you hurt me. It fucking hurts. That's the step right there. It hurts. Because once we get beyond that step, then we can start recognizing what it looks like when the people are smiling in our face, but meanwhile they threw a rock at you in the head. The peace dealer said this one day. People look at Aries and they throw a rock at you, and then when you turn around, they're waving in this hand, and in the other hand, they got the rock behind their back. You feel me? They got the rock behind their back, but they just waving at you. Because nobody wants to go to war with you up front. You know that. You absolutely fucking know that. Act like that. Take your power back. Go seclude yourself. I promise you, this is a winning season for you. Your belief system has changed entirely of who you allow in your circle, of who and how much energy and time you give to communicate with other people, how much you cheerlead and lift them up versus how much you put into yourself. Man, I tell you, there are some parts of me that wants to guilt trip and shame myself so much. I'll be honest about how much shit and how much energy, how much time and how much attention and how much love I've given to people that I did not give to myself, and it burns my soul some of these days. Today I woke up this and it burned my soul when I did an astrology report, and I recognized the gains that I put back in a certain time frame that would have been now, but like, oh fuck, I put that into somebody else. It burns. burns, but never again. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, never again. Stand up.